Hi, I'm Monica Hall. I work at Green Cross Vets Ku-ring-gai to do my Cert 4 vet nursing, and student number 3785766695, and I'm doing today the animal behaviour enrichment video, so I'm just going to talk through. I've got it wrote down here as well. So I was assistant in managing undesirable behaviour, so I had to identify an abnormal behaviour in the animal. So I observed a dog. It was panting, shaking, standing, didn't want to sit down at all, had a tail between its legs and appeared to be very anxious. And it says to identify and record stress, signs of stress, and describe possible stressors. So dog was panting, had quite a bit of tension in the mouth and around the eyes. The ears were pinned back. I mean, it could probably be due to obviously being in a strange environment, not in their usual comfort zone, somewhere totally different, lots of strangers, and noises and smells as well would be very different. Other signs that you could have, not with this dog, but with other animals as well, they could show signs of aggression, or not eating, making lots of noise and vocalization, or a destruction of housing or bedding, anything like that. Short-term management of animals exhibiting undesirable behaviour and strategies. So make sure they're regularly exercised if it's a dog, in a suitable environment for them. They've got obviously for the size and breed, they get plenty of enrichment toys, things to do. Let them, if they're that way inclined, you could do foraging, hunting, depending on the type of animal. Somewhere for them to retreat to, their own bed area, or somewhere to hide if it's obviously that type of animal. It's a small animal, likes to go away and hide into a little box or something like that. Make sure that the owners are always carrying out appropriate enrichment for that type of animal or species. Giving praise and food rewards can also help with undesirable behaviour. So participate in development and implementation of a long-term strategy. It would probably involve consulting a behaviourist, would be a main one. So they're obviously qualified and know how to deal with this. Going to a training class would be a good one for the animal and the owner. So obviously the owner maybe needs to learn some things on how to deal with the animal and ways to do things. Playing games, toys with treats inside, which are good for stimulation and keeping their minds busy, and giving food which requires them to think about it, how to eat it, and then break it up. If they like to go swimming, you can take them, if you have a pool, swimming in the pool, or up to a beach, a dog beach, or if there's a river nearby where they're allowed to go swimming. And also running off leash, which is something that they love to do. And obviously socialising with other animals is a big one as well for them. Complying with animal welfare, occupational health, safety requirements. Always use New South Wales State if in that area, obviously, for the legislation regulations. Provide enrichment appropriate for the animal. Keep health and behavioural records at all times and keeping them up to date. Where necessary, use the PPE when you're handling the animals. You have to be able to recognise hazards, risks, and being able to be aware of, obviously, the zoonotic diseases. Implement enrichment programs. Choose trial a range of appropriate physical, social, and food-related enrichment strategies with your chosen species. So with a dog, it would be for taking them exercise, walking, running, off-leash at a park, allowing them to socialise with other dogs. Also in a safe and controlled environment where they can sniff around, run around, meet other dogs there. Finally, using food, which is a very good way if they're food orientated. So you could do recalls, sits, stays, and lots of heel work, which is a good food based, obviously, positive praise, and it's good to do at the park. because obviously you will have distractions going with other people there and other animals, and obviously they're learning to focus on you and keep their attention on you, and they're having to work to get the treat. So they all can enjoy things like that. And clean, decontaminate, dispose of or replace the used enrichment items. So depending on the item, you can be soaked and washed and water and disinfectant. Then you can rinse them and dried, such as maybe Kongs, any of those sort of plastic or rubber type toys. Others, well, some may need to be replaced, depending on what it is. If they're getting used and chewed a lot, and obviously bits are coming off, then they just need to be disposed of. And obviously, yeah, they need to be discarded because it can't be, obviously it's dangerous. Also document, report and evaluate animals' responses to enrichment strategies according with the organisation's policies and procedures. So depending on the animal, a variety of strategies need to be tried to see what works best and what the animal's going to show interest in, if they're food driven, obviously if they like to be with people. Allow policies and procedures regarding safety always, hygiene, you have to always remember, care of the animal, food and for them, and the health, and also to know your limitations as to what you can do and when to seek help. Obviously you have to watch for any adverse consequences, which could be overstimulation of the animal, could get too excited, and they could then start destroying the surroundings, habitat, the bedding. They could then show obviously signs that obviously they want to fight with other animals. They're not interested in using enrichment toys, they could show signs of stress, or actual self-mutilation is another one. So consult with your supervisor to suggest modifications to the enrichment programme. I would probably use, for that one, to use the medication for anxiety and stress is probably a good one, obviously in extreme cases, if everything else has been tried and it's not working. Further courses for the owner and handler with a professional behaviourist again. And then they can obviously try and identify the triggers and what's causing the problem. Learning to obviously be the leader and then look up to you, and that they don't need to be in charge or feel that they have to be. And being consistent is another important one. Maybe a change in diet depending on the type of food that's being fed. And also, of course, knowing your limitations and knowing when you need to ask for professional help. Okay, thank you.